The following conversation is with one of my Patreon members, Boris. Boris is from Croatia. He's lived in Germany. He's into German rap, but currently he's a data analyst and a cryptocurrency consultant. We cover a lot of topics here, kind of about the things that he does in the crypto space, what the future of cryptocurrency and the blockchain could mean for the coming digital decades, and kind of the other applications of NFTs and what that could mean for content creators like myself in the future. And of course, if you guys want to listen to this full podcast, this is available in my Patreon tiers. Again, a lot of these videos take a lot of time and they're made possible by my Patreon supporters. So I thank you guys, those of you who are part of my Patreon, and I hope you guys enjoy this conversation.
So yeah, this is why I'm so into German rap and hip hop, and I've been my whole life an IT guy, so a nerd. That's the reason why I'm now doing things like data science, software development, blockchain development consulting, etc.
So in Germany at least, I guess you said that's how you like discovered German rap.
Yes.
Okay. Why did you like it so much?
My uncle, he was a musician and he liked different genres, and he introduced me, of course, to heavy metal, rock, pop, and of course hip hop and German rap. In the 90s, it started with Die Fantastischen Vier. Are you familiar with Fanta Vier?
No, but people have heard. I've heard. I've seen comments. A lot of people comment all the time, and so I know the name, but I've never heard them.
Yeah, Fanta Vier. They are like a group that's really like fun rap. I don't know, really cool guys. They have really hype in the 90s.
Okay, interesting.
The first song I think I heard in '92, Dida. The song is called Dida. It is a really. I will share with you the YouTube link. The video is all.
I didn't know there was German rap that in the 90s already.
Yeah, sure. Dida, of course, this was more like parody rap there, but those guys are really cool and intuitive with their lyrics, and they were mainstream back then in the 90s. And of course, there were also other interesting groups like there were a rapper Torch, and he's like something like conscious rap and stuff like that, deeper text, and I really liked Torch in the 90s.
Torch?
Yeah, Torch is also really a pioneer of German rap. I think he also, like Kool Savas, started back in the 80s as a teenager, rapping, breakdancing, and things like that. So I really enjoyed the 90s, but the real rap, the real hype came in the 2000s with Kool Savas, Azad, Agro Berlin, and the first gangster rap crews. Yeah.
Bushido.
Bushido was
of course
on the Agro Berlin bandwagon, but he split it, and he was really good with Flair, with Zito, and they had beef as he go from the label, but then they had some collabo work, and I really I'm not an expert on German rap, but I really like to see new things, new rappers coming out, and but again, my favorites I like Savas, Azad, Bushido.
Yeah,
they are for 20 years.
These are so good. These guys.
Yeah. Yes, this is my story. So really, I'm also going to Germany at least once a year. I really like to be there to make some holidays there, or Berlin, or my old hometown Karlsruhe, in near of Stuttgart.
That's where you grew up.
Yeah, that's where I lived. Yeah, Karlsruhe.
Oh yeah. Karlsruhe.
Yeah.
Oh, Karlsruhe. Oh yeah, I've heard people talk about this city.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
So
Man.
yeah, and Stuttgart, it was 60 kilometers from Karlsruhe. There was one of the first labels there, Kopfnicker Records.
Okay.
Also
Yeah.
really, yeah, also really cool groups like Die Massiven Töne.
No
Are you
idea. No.
Die Massiven Töne? I will share this too.
Die
This is really old
Massiven.
school, but really, really good hip hop. Die Massiven Töne, Afrop. I don't know. There were Ferris MC. Those are guys from the Kopfnicker label, Kopfnicker Records label,
Uh-huh.
and also in the 90s they were one of the pioneers, one of the first really hip hop labels. So only hip hop artists and groups were signed by this label.
So out of curiosity, like I mean, my German rap knowledge begins at like, I would say even like 2010 maybe is like, you know what I mean. And before that, I didn't know anything about it, and I haven't explored that much. But like,
Yeah.
I guess, would you break it in, let's say, like, broadly, you could say like pre and post streaming,
2000.
yeah, or
Yeah.
streaming, and then even broader, or even more I should say more specific, you have like the decades, right? um
Mm,
Obviously a lot has changed since like Spotify, and even YouTube changed things a lot as well, because you could
or-
go direct to consumer, and that kind of
yeah.
changed the expectations of like what, how the videos, for instance, became like a big deal. Like how much money you're spending on your videos. Like, do you have a
Yeah.
favorite era?
Uh, my favorite era from 2000 to 2010. So this is my
Yeah.
favorite era of German rap.
uh,
Yeah, yes, you're right. You're correct. Since YouTube and streaming and everything, and I know in Germany, what is really popular are interviews with the German rappers, like
mhm,
Fleck, Manuelsen, I don't know, Bushido, and
mhm.
all the beat and all the things that really is going on between cliques and groups and
Yeah.
clans. So yes, it is really Germany with 80 million citizens. There are many teenagers and young people that like to watch the interviews more than
Yeah.
the songs.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
more here for the music, for the artist, etc.
Mm.
So yes, things are changing, and today you have YouTube clicks, I don't know, streams on Spotify and other music
Yeah.
applications. This is, I guess, where the money is. The most of
Yeah.
the then it is really money driven, of course, like so many things in the world. But really great artists, like I don't know, the last album from Cool Savage, I'm even in contact with him. I really think that's one of his best works
Or
so
you are in
far.
contact with him.
Yeah, yeah, sure. We were in contact over the Twitter direct messaging. I'm also consulting a little bit on cryptocurrency NFTs. He's really curious about this
Oh
technology.
wow. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm extremely interested too in that, and like I wanted to hear your opinion on that space. Um, but so like, for I guess you said you're consulting, so there's some level of confidentiality that you couldn't
Yeah.
disclose, or like what he's into or what he's interested in. But like, what do
Yeah.
you? So you said you're in a lot of data science. You're into data science, and um,
I am a data scientist.
yeah.
My full-time job is as a data analyst here in a government agency. I do many different analytic tools and really IT stuff. So I'm really in the tech stuff also.
Do you,
Yeah.
and what do you think, in terms of like cryptocurrency? When did you jump on board, or at
Uh,
least when did you start to believe in it? Were
it
you one of the
was
early guys?
Yeah, no, it was 2015 because
Uh,
I really ignored it for 2 or 3 years because I thought it is just another payment network like PayPal or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Bitcoin already, I don't know, covered on Bloomberg 2012, 2013, and it didn't mean too much for me. I just thought it is a payment network,
yeah,
but in 2015, again, I took the white paper from Bitcoin, this little paper on eight or nine sites, and I read it, and I thought, oh shit, this is something fascinating. This is technology like the internet. This is something like this is innovative like electricity, and I really from tumbling down the rabbit hole. So in the cryptocurrency space, you will often hear when you're just digging and digging, you're tumbling down the rabbit hole, you find the new layers of this technology, and it is like that. So you are jumping on, you're think you're figured it out, and then is new layers, and on top of that, developer is coming with something new. And I for the first few months, my mind was blown every day.
Really,
it is really fascinating stuff, and that's the reason why I started 2015 first, of course. Read as much and find out as much as I can. And 2017, with my brother-in-law, we founded a blockchain and cryptocurrency company here in Croatia.
And I suspect you take care of mining, or you process mining fees, or you run like a
yes, we have a little, let's say, hobby mining project. Those are little rigs with, I don't know, 6 GPU cards that can mine alternative cryptocurrency, not Bitcoin anymore. This is now for the bigger players, and the biggest miners in Bitcoin are in China, Iceland, and I don't know, America, Germany. But those are really like big computer data centers that are just specialized for mining Bitcoin, and we can mine with our little hobby mining rig. We can mine Ethereum and the other shitcoins.
Well, Ethereum was once a shitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Maybe once upon a time. So in just to go back, I just the white paper is essentially the doctrine, or I guess you could say like manifest on how or what Bitcoin, or at least what its function is. If you like a user manual, I guess you could say.
Yes, it is really an abstract of what this technology is all about. So in this paper, this anonymous inventor, Satoshi Nakamoto, I guess that this is a group of people that came up with Bitcoin. It is really hard for just one human being to have such a knowledge on a monetary policy.
You think it's too complicated for one person?
Yeah. Yes, and this is with Bitcoin is not the first attempt to have digital money, or let's say money ready for the internet. It is for 3 or 4 decades we are trying to figure out how to make a secure electronic digital cash, or let's say electronic money, and Bitcoin trying to solve some of the problems on computer networks and information technology, and it is for 12 years now in a really nice run, I guess. Development, interest of institutions and retail investors. It is really cool technology. And if you see this paper, it's only nine sites, but it's covered so much. Like there is in Bitcoin, when you have a distributed database that is storing all the transactions. You have something like a decentralized network. If you're familiar with torrent, or if you ever download something on torrent networks, this is also integrated in this Bitcoin payment system, and so many interesting information technologies that are really combined in those network that can now generate really black swan technology. So like cryptocurrency and other stuff. So cryptocurrency is just the first application of the Bitcoin blockchain. So we have the same named cryptocurrency called also Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a protocol; it's technology.
Of course, and so the, I guess, right, because like broadly speaking, the real value is in what, or I guess you could say, who leverages the blockchain the most creatively, right? And and that's kind of my. I would say I have an average level of like the whole thing, but in terms of the way you're talking about it, I may appear to be very naive, so just bear with me. I do wonder, like, number one, like a digital currency, like let's talk industries, like you have like health, data collection, and like finance. Like these are like big things that need to be innovated. Like so in terms of finance, Bitcoin is going after the financial sector and kind of trying to dismantle the way money is distributed and held by like large banks, which we know is very flawed and in most cases very like unfair, and a lot of people lose out because of the way that system is set up pretty much worldwide. And so in the end, I guess if you could kind of extrapolate what's been the last 12 years of this development of like cryptocurrency and blockchain cryptocurrencies, is there only going to be one currency that's universal, or will it be a lot like kind of how there's euro, there's pound, there's dollar, yen, and how would you, because the thing I don't understand is how much the value of the Bitcoin changes and fluctuates, even though there's a said finite amount, which is not the same case with Ethereum, as I understand. And so now you're talking about two different currencies that behave differently in terms of amounts, inflation, deflation, supply and demand, and there's so many I guess competing factors on so many different faces that I guess in 10, 20 years, are we only going to have one coin? And could you trade those coins? And how could you even perceive the value in a fair way when you say, if you kind of, I know that's really convoluted, and it's just because, for me, I that's kind of how I try. Yeah. That's the question I have, but I can't make sense of that or like what that would look like.
It is a great question. So yes, we have Bitcoin, and this is the first application. So cryptocurrency is the first application of blockchain and all the other technologies under the hood. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are not the same blockchain. Let's say Bitcoin is an apex predator, but Ethereum also an apex predator. But Bitcoin is living under the sea. It's a great white shark, and Ethereum, it really is trying to tackle something other than have a unique monetary policy. So Ethereum is more like a decentralized supercomputer where you can run unstoppable applications. So imagine that you have, now we're really enjoying, social networks. Sorry, just a second.
Sure.
Close my email. Not getting bothered. So really, it is a supercomputer where you're running something called smart contracts.
Right. Yeah. I just listened to.
All these applications like NFT tokens. So unique, unfungible tokens that are really not replaceable with something other. In Bitcoin, you have one Bitcoin is really, if you have one and I have one, we can trade it. It has maybe a different serial number, but it's the same Bitcoin. Okay, so we have a fungible network. On Ethereum, we can really come up with new applications like decentralized finance. So we can have banking infrastructures as software. There is no need for hardware, HQs, etc., etc. So we are trying in the future with blockchain and AI and other things, really automate, digitize, and put everything as a blockchain protocol. For example, in Bitcoin, it is money. On Ethereum, maybe we can have YouTube, Facebook, all the social networks as a protocol. So there is no company, there is no CEO, there are no headquarters. We're really going down, just creating new internet layers. So yes, on top of that, we have Bitcoin as, let's say, it could happen that it will be the native internet currency, or let's say another cryptocurrency that will be more secure, more decentralized, with better anonymity. Maybe this cryptocurrency will win in the end. But for now, Bitcoin is really the most secure digital digital system in the world. So even if you try to attack it, let's say a government trying to compromise it or hack it, or it cannot be done because it is decentralized. It is all over the world, and we are not even know how much participants are there, users of the network, miners, etc. I hope I answered your questions.
No.
Bitcoin is money. It is trying to be money, a type of hybrid money, because it's also digital gold. In 2009, on the 3rd January, it went live. So the mainnet was launched 12 years ago on the 3rd of January, and until now, so the network is always online. There is no downtime. It is really resistant, resilient. And again, it is just a protocol on the internet. You cannot stop until we stop the internet. You cannot stop decentralized blockchain protocols. So this is something new that Bitcoin introduced in IT, in information technologies. So code that is unstoppable. And also blockchain is the database. It is a really interesting database that is keeping track of a single source of truth. So we have many participants, but everyone knows exactly what's going on this network, because it's decentralized, open, neutral, borderless, censorship resistance. Really cool.
Free. And it's so, and from what I understand, at least from my research, I just listened, it was like a couple days ago, to the founder or a co-founder of Ethereum explain or really go into depth of what you were speaking about, like the NFTs and the smart contracts, and how that's more or less an elaboration. Like I'm sure he created Ethereum in a sense to basically improve upon what he saw in Bitcoin, right? And to see kind of like, well, wait a second, there's something here that it could be a lot better. And so now, like you said, you have this network that essentially is the foundation for multiple layers of businesses and other softwares that function interconnectedly, I guess, could you say, with one another, but yet decentralized. And this is where I tend to get lost, because now you're getting into, like, you're getting into this absurd amount of, I guess, like digital, literally like webs, like spider webs, and you have things that are just going all over the place. And now is there ever going to be a need, and if so, would it be possible to even monitor or police what's going on? Because I know you said that, especially with like the way you run a blockchain code, is that it's irreversible, right? Once it's launched, it's like a large rock that's going down the hill, and it's not like somebody's driving it. And so how do you stop something that maybe has a flaw, or even worse, has some malicious intent that's I don't know, terroristic, or just a harm, inadvertently harms society, even if the guy or girl who creates it meant it to be good? You know what I mean? It's kind of like you build a car and you find out it's not so safe. Well, we're gonna stop building those cars. But now, I run this code. This code is really not good. I thought it would be. How do we stop it? Do you run counter codes or
Another great question. I like your questions.
Oh, thanks.
So let's make a comparison with the internet. This thing they told us about the internet. So internet will be only for pornography, terrorism, gangsters, I don't know, black markets, etc. We see today that internet is in our day-to-day life. So we are using the internet, and we are using it for the most time, and the most people are using internet for good things, for creating great content, right? So I'm not worried about the negative sides of decentralized systems, and of course of free markets, because the good content, and we can talk about, of course, of curating this, I don't know, negative actors, bad actors,
Yeah.
money launderers, etc. Of course, there
Which
is.
I don't
There,
agree with necessarily. I'm sorry to interrupt. I think what's bad about Facebook is that they do have the ability to remove users and like eliminate whatever people that they don't agree with. Like for
sure.
instance, like removing Donald Trump's account. Not that he's
Yeah.
not that he's great, but also if he's so bad, let the people bury him. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
let better ideas
Yes, let me
yeah,
choose what content I want to consume, right?
exactly.
So I want to make my own opinions. I want to check both sides, let's say.
Hmm.
And yes, again, the internet back in the 90s was also more decentralized than today. Today you have the big companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, I don't know, Apple, Microsoft. So they are really the empires of the internet, right?
Yeah.
And again, blockchain and this decentralization is maybe putting back some great power. We see it with NFT tokens
Hmm.
to the small players. Or let's say, I don't know, you're an artist and I want directly support you financially or in other ways. I can do it now over blockchain directly with the artist, with the worker, or whatever, with the freelancer.
Right.
And of course, I think this is a great idea. This will, we are not even, cannot even imagine what will happen maybe in the next 5 years with blockchain and all these great emerging technologies. We are always looking back in the past. Okay, we have now, I don't know, blockchain technology. Let's make things like banking systems on the blockchain. On chain, yeah, it is possible, but that's not the goal. With blockchain, we can create really new architectures on the internet, new topologies, if you want. So, what does this mean? This means we can have, for instance, now something that is called micropayment. You cannot have micropayments with traditional banking and finance. What is micropayment? For example, I'm watching your YouTube channel and you get paid in real time for every millisecond I watch your video. Do you understand? So
Yeah. That how would you support that? I mean, what would support, like what kind of server would need to, how powerful would
there are out there some blockchain video applications and platforms. So you can, I don't know, make a music video or just music,
yeah.
put it on the platform, really similar to YouTube. Just you have there a, I don't know, a wallet connected where people are watching or consuming your content, and you can be paid by the minute, by an hour, by a millisecond even
Yeah.
of what.
Hmm.
So you're getting micropayments. I don't know, 1/10 of a cent
Right.
for watching one of your video. And of course, when many people like your content, they are really willing to pay you and your great content in such a way. So with traditional banking, or let's say with PayPal or any other systems, you're not that, let's say, you're not streaming money. You are just
No, it's
streaming money. With blockchain, you can even stream things like money.
right.
This is a real.
Yeah. It comes down to agility and speed, especially when you have stuff like streaming and